Welcome to our last lesson for this model, where we'll be designing the spout and assembling all of the parts. Let's begin by creating a groove on the inside of the neck of the bottle. We'll take a section view, accept. I'm going to insert a sketch on the front plane now. Take a normal 2 view. I'm just going to zoom in a little bit on the neck. Now let's go to Tools from the main menu, select Sketch Tools, Intersection Curve. I'll select this face and click OK. Now I'm going to activate the Rectangle tool. Drop the rectangle about here. Let's apply dimensions. 1 millimeter. This distance will be 3 millimeters. And this distance here will be 0.1 millimeters. OK. Sketch fillet, 0.2 millimeter radius. Let's apply it here and here. OK. Lastly, let's go to the Trim Entities tool. The Trim to Closest method is selected. Right-click and select. Let's select this line and convert it to construction geometry. OK. And let's zoom back out and exit the sketch. Now let's bring in a temporary axis. Activate the Revolve tool. We'll start by selecting a contour. And we'll select our axis. Unselect the Thin Feature option, and let's accept. Click OK. I'm going to zoom back in a little. I'll apply a 0.1 millimeter fillet to this edge here, and to this edge. Let's click OK. Now I'm going to create a zero offset surface. Let's make our selection of faces. And let's click OK. Let's unselect the section view. Isometric. And we're going to hide our solid bodies. Right-click, hide. Now let's export the surfaces we just extracted as an IGS file. File, Save As. From the Save As Type drop-down menu, select IGS. Let's call it 96-01. Save. I'm simply going to grab the IGS file and drop it inside the SolidWorks application. SolidWorks asks me if I wish to run import diagnostics on this part. Yes, I do. Let's click Yes. Now SolidWorks thinks we have some trouble. Let's make some selections in the tree to see where these trouble areas are in the graphic area. It's the outside edges. Let's click OK. First, let's extend this cylindrical surface. 20 millimeters should do it. OK. Now let's insert a sketch on the front plane. Take a normal 2 view. Activate the Line tool. And let's drop a couple lines. Right-click and select. Select the horizontal line and let's convert it to construction geometry. And let's dimension the relation between these two lines, 8 degrees. OK. This distance is going to be 20 millimeters. OK. Exit the sketch and take an isometric view. Activate the Extruded Surface tool. Mid-plane extrusion. The depth doesn't matter as long as it covers the entire cylinder. Let's accept. And click in a blank area of the graphic area to unselect everything. Trim Surface tool, Mutual Trim Type. We'll select both surfaces. Now let's make our selections to keep. And OK. Our spout's got a drain into the bottle, so let's begin modeling that. What we're going to do is create the hole at the bottom portion of the spout. Let's insert a sketch. Right-click, Insert Sketch. If I take a normal 2 view, it might be a little confusing to see which part of the spout is the bottom section. So to avoid this type of confusion, I'm going to insert a center line. It'll be a horizontal line. Right-click and select. Now let's take the normal 2 view. Insert a circle. Apply dimensions. Let's say 5 millimeters, okay. This distance will be 22 millimeters. Our sketch is fully defined. Let's exit. Take an isometric view. Activate the Trim Surface tool. Standard trim type. Select our sketch as the trim tool. Selections to keep. Here, and OK. Next, we need to create the tip of the spout. Let's begin with inserting a construction plane. I'll select this face and offset distance of 25 millimeters. Check here to flip the direction. OK, and let's insert a sketch on our new plane. Take a normal 2 view. Let's place a construction line and a circle. Now dimension it. We'll give the circle a 20 millimeter diameter. The construction line will be 12 millimeters. Let's create one more circle. Center. Right-click and select. The sketch is fully defined. Let's exit our sketch and take an isometric view. I'm going to hide plane 1 now. Right-click and hide. And let's go to the Surfaces tab. Activate the Trim Surface tool. Standard trim type. Let's select this sketch and then make our selections to keep. Accept. Now we're going to create a lofted surface. Let's right-click and make the sketch visible. Unselect everything in the graphic area. Let's activate the Lofted Surface tool. Even though I've got 2 closed profiles here, I can still use this sketch as a loft profile. Let's click OK. The second profile will be this edge. We need to adjust the handle. There, something like this. And accept. Let's hide Sketch 3 under Surface Trim 3. Now let's activate the Knit Surface tool. Selections to knit. Accept. Let's convert our surface to a solid now. Activate the Thicken tool, Insert, Boss Base, Thicken. Surface Knit 1 is already pre-selected. Let's enter a thickness value, 0.8 millimeters. Tab to register. Depending upon from which side you selected, you'll need to thicken side 1 or side 2. In my case, I need to thicken side 1. Lastly here, we need to create a cut on the top portion of the tip. Let's insert a sketch on the top portion of the front plane here. Normal 2. Normal 2 again to flip it 180. Let's just reposition. Now let's activate the Line tool. Right-click and select. Now a sketch fillet. 20 millimeter radius. OK. And exit our sketch. Let's go back to the Features tab. Activate the Extruded Cut. Be sure the cut goes in the right direction. Click OK. Lastly, we need to apply a fillet. A 5 millimeter fillet. I'll select this edge and this edge. Click OK. Take an isometric view. And our spout is complete. Let's save this part. I'll use the default name 96-01. Let's click Save. Now let's bring both our parts to assembly. OK. I'll select part 96. Click OK. And let's hide surface offset 3. Let's make the solid body visible. I'm going to change the color at the assembly level. Let's make the bottle blue. And let's bring in the spout. 9601, we'll drop it about here. Let's apply mates now. I'm going to zoom in so I can better see which faces to apply the mates to. This face here. And this face here. Coincident mate type is already pre-selected. Let's take an isometric view. Now let's make temporary axes visible. We'll select this axis here. And this one here. Coincident mate is already pre-selected. Lastly, let's make the front planes. Click OK. Let's right-click, change color at the assembly level. I'm going to use a light blue. And let's scroll down the Color Property Manager. I want to change the transparency. Let's say 40%. OK. And lastly, let's hide our temporary axes. Here's our completed bottle. Our project is finished. Let's turn on Real View if your graphics support this option. I'm going to use Shaded without edges. And here is our completed fabric softener bottle. This concludes this project, and we'll see you back in our next lesson.